In biomolecules, we know that various types of organic molecules are present. In the separation technique, we will separate different types of elements which are present, and which different types of substances or the molecules which are present in a living system. So in that process, different types of organic compounds have been identified to be present in the living cells of a plant body or a animal body. So here various types of biomolecules have been identified, in that amino acids, proteins, carbohydrates, that is polysaccharides, lipids, nucleic acids, etc. are various types of biomolecules that have been identified and studied by the scientists. And in the introduction part, we said that ash analysis is the one which will which will give the information about the element or the substance which is present. Not only the substance, it will also give the structural characteristic features of the compound and also the molecular formula related aspects, because for example, if you are saying sulfate, so what is the molecular structure and what is the molecular formula of the sulfate can also be analyzed. That is, how many sulfur are there, how many oxygens are there. That talks about the structure and also the molecular formula of the particular substance or particular compound. So next, in the biomolecules, as we are saying, many such types of biomolecules are there. Let's start with the first one, amino acids. In general, we say that amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. And major compound which is required for forming a structure of any living organism is the protein. That means if the proteins are responsible for formation of any particular structure, in the same way for forming the proteins, they require the amino acids. Likewise, these are considered to be the building blocks of the proteins, and also the enzymes, because enzymes are also a type of protein molecules. So in this amino acids, we know that the carbon is the major element which is present. So the central element is a carbon which contains one hydrogen, one carboxyl group, one alkyl group, one amide group. So this is a basic framework of the or basic structure of any amino acid, and here we call this carbon as a alpha carbon because it is attached to the carboxyl group functional group. That's why we call it as alpha carbon. On that we can see one hydrogen, this is one functional group. So total number of functional groups which are present here are 3. One is carboxylic acid, alkyl group, R means alkyl group, and NH2, that is amide group. So these are 3 functional groups which are present, and sometimes here the nature of the amino acid will be changing based on the type of the functional groups. That is, it is based on all the 3 functional groups, the nature and the all other properties of the amino acids will be changing. So let's take some examples here. If this is a basic structure that we have said, NH2, COH are present, and if alkyl group is replaced with hydrogen, already one hydrogen will be there. If alkyl group is replaced with hydrogen, then it is glycine. Then one more example, if alkyl group is represented with methyl group, it is called as alanine. It's called as alanine. In the same way, if alkyl group is replaced with hydroxymethyl group, hydroxymethyl CH2OH, it is called as serine. So likewise, the name of this amino acids are changing. Glycine is one amino acid, alanine is one, and serine is one other. So here in all of them, what is the common thing is these 3 are common. they are changing only in the nature of the alkyl group, that is R. Here R is represented as replaced by H. Here R is represented as methyl group CH3, whereas here R is represented with hydroxy methyl group. So likewise, some may also have other alkyl groups also. Some may have the aromatic nature also. Likewise, the name of that amino acid will be changing from one name to other name based on the type of alkyl groups which are present here. In some of the amino acids, the amino group is replaced with imino group. Imino group is NH, and these are showing heterocyclic in their nature. Like, let's take some of the example as proline and hydroxyproline. Here the molecular organization will be like this: CH2, 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 CH, COOH with NH part. So it is having heterocyclic nature, heterocyclic compound. Then hydroxyproline, CHOH with the CH2, CH2, CHCOOH with NH. So this is also a heterocyclic compound. Likewise, when the imino group is present, so they are showing a heterocyclic nature like in proline and the hydroxyproline. In a plant cell or any living cell, there 20 types of amino acids are participating in the protein formation or protein synthesis. So apart from these 20 types, the living cells also contain other amino acids. Those are called as non-protein or non-coded ones. So here these 20 types of amino acids which are participating in the formation of protein, these are called as protein amino acids. And in a protein, which protein amino acid have to be incorporated, at which place it have to be incorporated, all that depends upon the codons. We know that the codons which are present in the mRNA are in the form of triplet codons. So the triplet codons are which are present on the mRNA or which are decided by the codons which are present on the DNA molecule. So that is the reason where which type of amino acid have to be incorporated into the protein chain. Then there are some proteins which are called as non-coded amino acids. Some proteins have some non-coded amino acids also. These are called as otherwise rare amino acids. These are otherwise called as rare amino acids. So these amino acids will undergo some sort of modification and they are converted into the normal structures. This type of things will be there, and all the properties of amino acids will depends upon the functional groups. So as we have discussed that they contains 3 functional groups. One is amino group, the second one is called as carboxyl group, and next one is the alkyl group. So these 3 are deciding the properties, physical properties and the chemical properties of the amino acids. Based on the number of these functional groups and the nature of the functional groups, so the properties will be changing from one amino acid to the other amino acid. Based on this one, so we can say different types of amino acids are there. Like let's take one example where if more number of carboxyl groups are present when compared to amino groups. so that amino acid will be acidic in nature. And if an amino acid contains more amino groups when compared to carboxyl groups, it will be alkaline in its nature. But in general, the number of amino groups and carboxyl groups will be equal. Then it is a neutral amino acid. Likewise, the nature will be changing based on the number of amino groups and the carboxyl groups in a amino acid. So let's see some of the types of amino acid. First one is neutral amino acids. Neutral amino acids are those which contains equal number of amino groups and carboxyl groups. Such type of amino acids are called as neutral because the acidic and basic nature will be balanced here. So like we can take examples of glycine, alanine, valine, etc. Then acidic amino acids. Acidic amino acids are those which contain more carboxyl groups than amino groups. So as amino is showing the because of this amino nature, the alkaline nature will be more, and because of the carboxyl group, the acidic nature will be more. So here glutamic acid, aspartic acid are some of the examples. Then alkaline amino acid, the one which contains more amino groups when compared to carboxyl groups. Such type of amino acids are called as alkaline amino acids, like arginine and lysine. Arginine and lysine are the amino acids which are rich in nucleosomes. That is not only we have to say it as nucleosomes. Repeat. Arginine and lysine are rich in histone proteins, and these histone proteins are the part of nucleosomes. So that is one nature. Then aromatic amino acids. Aromatic means which contains a ring structure. So this type of amino acids are called as aromatic amino acids, like in tryptophan is one example. Then there are some amino acids which contain sulfur. So sulfur containing amino acids. Like in methionine and cysteine. Then alcoholic amino acids. Okay, alcoholic amino acids are the one which contain alcohol groups. So like in serine and heterocyclic are the one which contains heterocyclic nature. So like in histidine. Okay. Likewise, various types of amino acids are present, and basically the amino acids contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, but some also contain sulfur. But basic composition is a one which is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. So here, apart from this one, there are some amino acids which are considered to be the essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Before going to this essential and non-essential, so there are some amino acids which are synthesized by the plants directly. So those are which are required for various metabolic activities, but by various functions which are useful for various functions also. But in the animal cells, animals they cannot prepare their own amino acids, such type of amino acids which are derived from the plant sources. So likewise the one which are derived from the plant sources which cannot be synthesized by the animals are called as essential amino acids. How does the animals will get those essential amino acids? Means they will get their essential amino acids in the form of diet. Through diet they get these essential amino acids. There are 7 such essential amino acids are there which are derived from the plant sources by the animals for their, which is required for their metabolic activities. So like those are leucine, isoleucine, valine, tryptophan, phenylalanine, lysine and methionine. So these are the 7 essential amino acids which are required by the animals and derived by diet. So this type of amino acids are called as essential amino acids, and apart from this 7, the remaining are called as a non-essential amino acids, and some are called as semi-essential also, which are required for various stages, like some are required in the childhood and some are required in the adult stages of the human beings. Those are called as semi-essential amino acids. But apart from these 7, the remaining all are considered as a non-essential amino acids. And what is the purpose and what is the function of these amino acids? Before that, before discussing about the functions, we should know something, that the amino acids are the one which are acting as a building blocks of the proteins. So here, for example, let's take 2 basic structures of amino acids. Here amino acids are binded with a bond called as amide bond actually, but it is more popularly known as peptide bond. So this peptide bond is formed between the carboxyl group of one amino acid and the NH2 group, that is amino group of the adjacent amino acid. In that process, one water molecule will be lost, that is called as dehydration. By one water molecule will be released outside. So by this process, the peptide bond is formed between the carboxyl group of one amino acid and the amino group of the adjacent amino acid, and this bond is called as amide bond, but popularly it is known as peptide bond. So likewise, if 2 amino acids are present in a protein chain, we call it as a dipeptide. We call it as dipeptide. If 3 amino acids, like 2 are there and the third one is also been there, like so now 3 are there. So these 3 with 2 peptide bonds, so that is called as tripeptide. Likewise, if the number of peptide bonds are going on increasing, the size of the polypeptide chain will go on increases. That is called as a polypeptide chain, or the bond formation, the peptide bond that is formed between the 2 successive or 2 adjacent amino acids to form into a long chain of proteins. So this is a way how the peptide bond is formed, that is during the translation process, or that is taking place in the cytoplasm of the cells. Then what are the functions of amino acids? Already we said that amino acids are the building blocks of proteins and also enzymes. So actually major organic compound by which a living body is made up of is the proteins. So if a organism have to acquire that particular shape structure means because of major contribution is by the proteins. If those proteins are to be formed means there they require the amino acids. In the same way, inside a living cell, many biochemical reactions are taking place, and for that biochemical reactions there they require some enzymes which are acting as biocatalysts. What does this biocatalysts are doing? These biocatalysts are the enzymes which will quicken or fasten the chemical reactions inside the living cell. So all enzymes are proteins. So I already said that proteins are formed by the amino acids. So every enzyme and every protein have to be formed means there they require the amino acids. So without amino acids it is not possible to acquire a definite structure of any living organism. Then there are many such amino acids which are required in many biochemical processes or many biochemical synthesis. Like we take the example of tryptophan. Tryptophan is required for the synthesis of IAA. IAA is an auxin. It is an plant growth regulator. Simply to say, the auxin is the one which is required for root initiation and also apical bud formation. Like many such functions are there in a plant. So if that function has to perform means auxin should be there. Auxin should be there means tryptophan should be there. Likewise, some amino acids are required for which are helping in various other metabolic activities inside a plant cell. Beta alanine is required for the metabolic activities or metabolism, and some of them are required for the synthesis of peptidoglycans. And in the same way, some of them are required for the urate mechanism. Likewise, many such amino acids are playing an important role in the various metabolic steps or metabolic reactions which are taking place inside a plant cell and also in a animal cell. So that's the importance of amino acids in a living cell. So amino acids have one particular specific character, that is ionizable property of NH2 and COOH group. That is, in a solution of different pHs, the nature will be changing. So let's take one example here, like COOH and N plus H3. So this is a cation form of amino acid where it is interconvertible to form an intermediate nature, that is NH3 so this is called as zwitterionic form. Zwitterionic form, and it is interconvertible to NH2 C COO minus H and R. This is anionic form. So likewise, because of the ionizable nature of NH2 and COOH, in different pH the nature of the amino acid will be changing. So this is called as zwitterionic form, where the positive charge and the negative charge, both of them are present on it. So whereas here only positive charge is present, so it is a cationic form, and here only the negative charge is present, so anionic form. So likewise, it will be existing in different forms based on the nature of the pH solution in which it is present.